Second Corinthians chapter 4, starting at verse 8. We are hard pressed on every side, yet not crushed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Struck down, but not destroyed. Just for a few minutes, I want to talk about I am a survivor. I am a survivor. Some days are hard to get through. And I've had quite a few of those days lately. We all face tough times and trials of life that come in many different ways. But maybe it's the little things that just add up. Or maybe we are facing much bigger problems in life. Either way, we can take comfort in God's promises that He is faithful. And He has already given us every tool we need to have faith in hard times. In verses 8 and 9 of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, Paul makes 4 statements that describe how Christians respond to the trials of life. We are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed. Perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Struck down, but not destroyed. These 4 statements describe the true condition of believers in the world. They are always true, and even though our experience of them varies, we are not always pressured, but we often are. We're not always perplexed, but it happens more than we think. We do not always face opposition, but sometimes we do. And not every day we struck down by the circumstances of life, but it does happen to all of us eventually. No one is exempt from going through a crisis. The first point that I see is that we are pressed on every side, but not crushed. So that lets me know that pressure will not defeat us. The word pressed was sometimes used for walking through a crowd where people surrounded you and literally press against you. Or we may think of grapes in a wine press. The pressure of life may squeeze us, but we are not utterly crushed. We are pressed on every side by troubles, but we are not crushed. The truth is that this truth reminds us that the power of God, not our own power, sustains us through trials of life. Though we may feel fragile, God's great strength ensures we're never destroyed. We are pressed on every side, but we're not crushed. That lets me know that pressure will not defeat us. He said we are perplexed, but not in despair. That lets me know that confusion will not discourage us. Sometimes we just don't know which way to go. Life has a way of throwing us in a curveball now and then, and sometimes we are faced in situations where I just don't know what to do. Paul himself is in a situation where there are moments when the pressure is so great and that we feel so tired and worn out that sometimes we don't even have anything to say. But I found in these moments that when we feel like we are tired, we feel like, Lord, I'm just tired. And all I can do is say, Lord, have mercy. I found out that those 3 words have been my prayer in many, many situations. Sometimes I don't know what to do. Sometimes I don't know where to go. But I always know to say, Lord, have mercy. Have you ever felt so overwhelmed that you just didn't know what to do next? We've all been there. Life can be so complicated and confusing. And sometimes we are torn by the fact that we are not in control. Sometimes we are in situations simply because God wants us to rely on Him and His plan, because the life that was given to us is not ours, it's the Lord's. So I was created on purpose with a purpose, and my job is to live that life that God has given me for God. Not for me, and that's why it's okay when other people are upset with my decisions. Because I'm not trying to get your yes, I'm not trying to get your approval, but I'm trying to get God to say, my servant, well done. I'm trying to say, God say, I know that one right there. That one belongs to me. See, I don't mind that I don't belong to certain people's groups. It's okay that I don't get an invite to certain people's house. Because at the end of the day, as long as my Father accepts me for who I am, I don't care what you have to say, because my Father has given me peace that no man can take away. He's given me love that no man can replace. He's given me strength to endure what man tries to tear down. My God is a good God. Pressure will not defeat us. Confusion will not discourage us. But thirdly, it says we are persecuted, but not forsaken. Persecuted, but not abandoned. Opposition will not deter us. The Greek word translated persecuted means to pursue. As a hunter pursues his game, the word, it conjures up movie scenes where the superhero knows he's being followed wherever he go, but he can't quite see his enemies. They out there, he knows they after him, but when will they strike next? Paul knew about this from personal experience. Everywhere he went, his Jewish opponents followed him. They stayed on his trail, attacking his character, mocking his messages, stirring up opposition inside and outside the church. They never gave him a moment of rest. But when I look at it, I see Paul's reaction. He felt like an animal fleeing through the underbush with the hounds hot on his trail. Knowing all of this, Jesus simply says, don't worry about anything. I'm going with you. If you need me, I'll be there for you. He gives a command, go out into all the world and make disciples. But remember this, you're not going alone, I'm going with you. I'm backing your play. I'm right beside you. You cannot fail because I'm with you. So wherever you go, I'm right along with you. When I studied this text, I realized it's not about what we do. It's about what Jesus does. The longer we live the Christian life, the more we understand there are many different ways to be prosecuted. It can mean that someone is trying to physically hurt you, verbally attack you, or rejecting you socially. I experienced all kinds of persecutions. But I can honestly say that I've never been forgotten. Somebody else may have forgotten about me. Sometimes they may even forgot my name, but there's one person who has never forgotten about me. One thing I know is that trouble, it don't last long. It's only here for a short period of time. And although I'm being persecuted, I'm never alone. Because Hebrews 13:5 says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. When I read my favorite Psalms, I think about that, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. We are struck down, but not destroyed. That lets me know that even though I'm going through what I'm going through, that God is not through with me yet. Yes, I'm experiencing some trouble. Yes, I'm under pressure. Yes, I get confused. Yes, I face harsh criticism. Yes, I'm knocked down, but I thank God that I'm not destroyed. Christ offers victory through the trouble. I don't gotta wait until after the storm to receive my breakthrough. It's something that happens in the midst of my trouble that I receive the victory. When Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they received victory in the furnace, because when they looked in there, it wasn't just 3 people in the furnace with them. There was 4 people. That lets me know that I don't gotta wait until until after it's over to get my breakthrough. I don't have to wait till it's over to get my victory. I don't got to finish chemo to know that I'm healed. I ain't got to go to the doctor to get another checkup to see if I've been delivered. I can shout right now in the midst of my trouble because I am a survivor. I got to do my part. I got to throw up my hands. I got to give God praise. I got to read my word. I got to apply my word. What makes me a survivor is that I do my part and God does the rest. And we say, Lord, order my steps. God said, I already ordered them. I'm waiting on you to move your feet. I said, thank you, Jesus. I see what you're saying. You already did it, but you waiting on me. A lot of us is stuck because God is waiting on you. He's telling you to come on, but you're still playing hopscotch with the devil. I dare you to jump out and give it to God. He will. He can. He is. There's three things you're going to go through. You're going to go through a crisis. You're going to deal with the crowd. But lastly, you're going to have a Christ that saves you, that keeps you. My Christ died one Friday evening on a hill called Calvary. He got up on the third day with all power in his hands. That's why when I go through crisis, the crowd attack me, I'm standing right there. I'm looking at Christ, saying they just don't know who you are about. They don't know who I'm connected to. They don't know what you getting ready to do. You getting ready to make me an example. That's why I love what my grandmother said in 2016. The doctor said, you got lung cancer. And she stood up and said, no, I don't. And she walked out. I said, Granny, we need to go back in there. They got to do tests. She said, Keisha, ain't nothing wrong with my lungs because I praise my Father 6 a.m. every morning. Ain't nothing wrong with my lungs because I read my word aloud. Ain't nothing wrong with my lungs. I said, okay, well, let's get another opinion. So what we did when we got another opinion, the doctor said, I don't know what that doctor was seeing because I don't see no cancer in your lungs. I said, Granny, you was right. She said, no, God was right. He gonna do it every time I turn around. He keeps blessing me. Yes, the devil keep attacking me, but God keeps keeping me. I am a survivor. I am a survivor. I overcame what should have killed me. I overcame what tried to destroy me. I am a survivor because of the grace and the mercy and the blood, 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 the blood. That's why I am a survivor. It was because of the blood.